Hello students of 9th standard. Today the second part of lesson 1, the fun they had from Beehive of Isaac Asimov, will continue from where we left. But before that, I would like to make you know that the summary of the earlier part was, we know that whatever Margie and Tommy are discussing, and Margie was inquisitive to know about the book, how it was used in those days, he was not used to, and also the geography lesson, which was much more above her level, and how the county inspector was able to solve that problem that we saw earlier. That was the incidents of the lesson that we did in the earlier part. Now moving further, the topic of school which is there, that is coming in the book. So Tommy and Margie see that how school used to be discussed in every matter. Why the school? Because Margie is thinking that the school is not of there, because she has never seen there. The grandfather's time, when he was a boy, he used to study that type of school. She is not aware of, and now only Tommy will make aware of the fact what the school was. So what is written about the school, we'll see. Tommy, as you know, he is superior 2 years to Margie. So here the 2 year superiority, that always plays a part of his personality. So whenever a question of knowledge comes, then the superior person will show that I know better, and the same thing happens here. When about the school she discusses at that time, Tommy doesn't give her the knowledge of the school in a very simple way, but he says that you don't know anything and all that. The same situation, suppose you are in 9th standard, a 7th standard student interacts with you, you always show your superiority. It is quite logical and human nature that you behave superior when you are elder and intellectually more superior to your colleague. So the same thing happens over here. He says hundreds, but he is very loftily saying in this 6th paragraph we see. Loftily means excessive, something to show. Yes, so I know better, or it is something more that is above your understanding, or like that. I know better. That loftily he says and discusses and says that it's centuries ago. This school, what we are discussing, is of centuries ago. You can imagine that in the last first part we discussed that 2057 and today's age, there are not many centuries, but 1.5 century. But when he says centuries at that time, he's stressing the number of 100 years or more. So here also a person, when he talks loftily, he speaks much more about what actual fact is. So that word loftily is important over here. So here Margie is hurt, because he talks in a very indecent way. So here at least one thing was clear, that teacher was there, school was there, obviously the teacher was there. But here the teacher's role, or what the teacher is, that Margie doesn't know. So here the teacher was there, but a regular teacher or not? A regular teacher. Why? In case of Margie and Tommy, in the 2057, the mechanical teachers used to be in their house. But here, in the case of Margie's knowledge, she doesn't know that. So she says that a man used to teach, human beings used to teach. I have never interacted with a teacher who is a human being. I have been always been taught by the teachers who are mechanical, who are digital. I study digitally. So what the teacher's role was, he used to tell students some knowledge, and at that time, whatever the students knew, that was being asked questions on that topic, and it used to be over that way. So Margie says a man cannot be as smart. Her opinion is that a man cannot be smart than my teacher, that is the mechanical teacher. So at that time, Tommy argues, okay, how come my father knows more than the mechanical teacher? I can bet. Betcha is the word is used here. That means he bets on it. Sharat laga tu. Like that he is talking and saying that obviously my father knows better. So my father is a human and he knows that much the mechanical teacher knows. And after all, we also know that mechanical objects and gadgets are made by men. So human, when they teach, it's a different story. So emotions and all the things that goes into it, a mechanical teacher doesn't have that. So here that discussion is going on. I would want a strange man to, again the thing is that he feels that the teacher, if he stays in the house throughout the day, a man who stays in the house, I will not like it, because unlike the mechanical teacher, Tommy feels that this man will also stay in the house. Then at that time Tommy clarifies, okay, no, it is not the case. The teacher will not be coming to the house. The school in those days was such that the teacher used to go in a building where the same age students and number of students used to sit in the same class, and the teaching process went on at that time. Again, Margie is having her limited knowledge, what her mother has told, and she again asks Tommy that her mother says that in each student has to be adjusted and fitted into the teacher's mind, then only he can teach properly. He has to fit into the student's mind and then he can get to the student. If so many students are sitting in a class, it is not possible for the teacher to give or impart knowledge in an equitable manner. So at that time, this argument, again, Tommy is not happy and says, they didn't do at that time, that is their problem, leave it. You want to know, then whatever is written, try to understand it. So moving to further into the 8th paragraph, there is again, this discussion is going on at that time. The time for their school starts. So Margie's mother comes, and also Mrs. Jones, that's the mother of Tommy, also calls upon them that your school is going to start, so you please disperse and go to your individual classrooms. Margie is still inquisitive and she wants to know more about this book. So he asks Tommy that would he after school join again so that he can discuss more about this book. So showing his superiority here also, he just whistles them nonchalantly. Nonchalantly means not giving any heed to, just lightly taking what Margie has said, and he moves on. So now Margie is going to school. As earlier discussed, the school is just next to her bedroom, and the mechanical teacher was waiting for her to enter. Unlike ours, the students sit in the class and the teacher enters. Here the mechanical teacher gets itself ready in the room and then the student enters. It was always same time, like we have school time and a specific period of time you study in the school like that. 7:30 you come to school and you go at 12:30 in the same way. The school of Margie in her house used to be conducted. And our mother also said that students, when they study, kids those who study in a specific period of time in a regular basis, they study better. So here when she enters the room, the screen is lit up and that what lesson she would be studying is instructed by the mechanical teacher. That they will be studying arithmetic in that number system. So in the number, fraction number, proper fractions, you know about it, and that will be studied by Margie. Margie did so with a sigh. This line is also important. She did it with a sigh, not showing any enthusiasm or eagerness or energy to, interact with that mechanical teacher. Why? We'll see. She was thinking about the old schools they had when the grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. Her mind was in that period when her grandfather's grandfather was a child and he was going to school, and how that school was different. That her mind is over there. Other thing which is very specifically said here is that how the students all together from the neighborhood used to come to that place, at one place, and they used to study over there. So when they studied together, they came together, they interacted together, they had PT and other activities and other things they did together. They must be having very good time. She compares her with that. You can see Margie is studying alone, so she doesn't have the benefit of having company of other colleagues. Whereas she says that being studying the same class, those students during her grandfather time, it was very wonderful time for them, because studying the same matter, they were able to discuss that matter, study matter with each other, and also interact whenever there was difficulty of the study matter. So here the writer very nicely says that the writer somehow makes Margie think about the period 40-50 years behind. And at the same time, the next line, he writes the lines that the mechanical teacher is dictating the fraction. When we add fraction 1 upon 2 and 1 upon 4, and he's giving that instructions, but Maggie is not in that world. She is actually thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had. So here in the last paragraph you can see the main title is justified. Margie, she justifies by saying this line that they had a very good time together. Children like to play together. They have developed a rapport with each other, and they can enjoy studying together, playing together. The school is a different thing. But Margie is alone in the house. She cannot interact with one another, with other students. Therefore, she thinks, so maybe you also are feeling the same thing. At present, you are studying alone in the house. You must be keeping in mind or having that thoughts in mind that before 2-3 months, how we were, 3-4 months, how we were, in the school. You're missing your friends now, aren't you? You must be, because you're used to the school life and you're now doing online teaching. Teaching is going on and you are studying that way. So here the lesson is so much relevant to your time at present, that you are studying alone in the house, same as Margie. And Margie was thinking how those students must be studying at that time. And at the same time, your period is also the same, wherein you are thinking, okay, what or when we will be able to sit together and study together. So Margie and your situation is similar. So with this we conclude our lesson, and so the exercise which is at the back of the lesson, that is thinking about the text, it's a lengthy exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 question sections are there. You have to write all the sections according to the understanding I have given to you. Also, the topic of adverbs you already studied. In the brackets, the adverbs are given. You have to fill up the blanks according to the adverbs given to you, and on that basis you have to frame the sentences which are there, give meaning to the sentence that is understandable. It's not absurd, it doesn't become absurd. You have to fill up the adverbs in a proper way. In the last part, remember is that again adverbs, how is to be made, how to make adverbs, that simple why we remove and ILY we add, that explanation of grammar is given. If you understand that simply, you can complete the page number 12, question number 3 exercise also in a very easy way. Then coming to the writing skills, here your formal letter is there in which you will have to fill up the gaps. The topic is given, only the lines are given, you will have to fill up that. The question is about your writer has published a book and you are ordering that book. So on that basis you have to fill up the blanks. Also the address, date, addressee, which are explained on the top, are to be given. But please do one correction over here, or just add one line over here. After dear sir or madam, you will write subject. Subject this way. After dear sir, madam. After dear sir, madam, leave a line and write the subject book order. Something like that. No? So your order of the book you are giving, that you have to specify in a subject which is not given. So you just add and complete the letter in separate compound grammar book. Do complete this much. We will and get ready for the next English session. Till then, goodbye.